Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alina, and I'm partner at Holborn Pass. I'm a head of Malta program. So today I'm going to be talking about Malta permanent residence by investment. Basically, I'm going to go through the agenda of this webinar with you first. So firstly, I will introduce Holborn Group and Holborn Pass, tell you more about our services, what we do, how we can help you. Then we're going to move on to citizenship and residency by investment industry in general. I'm just going to talk briefly about the programs that we can help you with, what are the differences between residency and citizenship that we cover today. And then we're going to talk about Malta, beautiful country. I'll give a few facts about the country itself. And then we're going to start talk about permanent residence program, its key benefits, what is required, who can qualify for the program, the process and timeline, and obviously the components, which is components for the investment that you need to make to qualify for the permanent residence program and successfully get your residence card. And at the end, we will have some questions and answers. I already received a few questions from the registration, so I will try to cover this question during my presentation. But at the end, obviously, please send your questions to the chat or Q&A section. I'll be happy to take them at the end. So firstly, let's start talking about Holborn. The company was established in 1998. It is a leading award-winning global financial services company that provides quality financial advice and wealth management solution to clients worldwide. It is a family-owned business, and we're proud on delivering superior services to over 20,000 clients throughout our 20 international offices and supported by over 500 employees. Holborn Pass, where I work, is a part of the wider Holborn Asset Group. It is an international leader in investor visas. Through our global partnership with the best lawyers, developers, and financial institutions, we provide comprehensive residency and citizenship solutions. Helping our clients to pursue their goals is the key for us. So we will always have you in mind and your needs first. Holborn's expert team provides bespoke end-to-end service and tailored advice designed to support clients' needs and aims. And we successfully helped hundreds of families and individuals to secure their golden visa. So here you can see a very helpful slide with all the programs that we currently can assist you with. On the left side, you can see all the citizenship programs. Obviously, the top popular probably are Caribbean countries, which gives freedom of travel. Also, we can help with Vanuatu, Turkey, and Malta citizenship. So today I'm going to talk only about Malta Residency, unfortunately, but in the near future, there'll be another webinar on Malta citizenship, which will be also very interesting and informative. So we'll be very happy to see you all there. And on the right side, you can see all the residence programs that we can assist with. Most of them are in Europe, which is Malta, Portugal, Greece, Spain, but also we can help with USA and UAE golden visas. Again, as I said, it all depends on what you're looking for. Before choosing the right program, I always recommend my clients to look at the key features of what each program can give you. For example, visa-free travel, where you can live with a passport or residence card that you obtain. Also, please check the minimum stay requirement, which is also very important because not all the clients want to actually spend some time not in the current country of residence. So in this file, you can see all the important features about all the programs. And obviously, if you're interested to receive more information, please reach out to us. We will be happy to help. And now let's talk about Malta. This is why we are all here. So first of all, a few facts about this beautiful country. Malta is an island in the Mediterranean, and it is full of opportunities. Better quality of life, safer place to live, part of a strong economy. These are all the features of Malta. It is an island which is an ultimate tourist destination. 300 days of sunshine, crystal clear blue waters, stunning beaches, top destination for food lovers, and top-notch nightlife. These are not one of the most, lots of benefits of Malta. It is a great place to settle permanently, to live, work, study, and also do business. Malta is a progressive democracy and is a member of the EU from 2004 and also Schengen area from 2007. English is counted as an official language. Therefore, communication will be very easy for expats, as majority of people speak English. So you will feel very welcome in the country and can easily communicate for your needs. Malta consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in the world, which make it ideal for families with kids. So it's a family-friendly option to go for. It offers a world-renowned public healthcare system and the most accessible according to the World Economic Forum, which is also, I think, very important these days, our health. It also has based on the British model education system, which is very highly ranked. There is a 400-year-old university in Valletta that attracts students from all over the world. So if you have adult kids who are looking to get the best university education, also consider Malta for that. Maltese people are very regarded for their hospitality. So trust me, if you go to Malta, you will feel very welcome. Also, Malta is at the forefront of development and innovation with a strong economy, which makes it highly sought after jurisdiction by international companies and entrepreneurs. Malta has really low unemployment rates. So for business people, also a great destination. In terms of where to go in Malta, if you want a slower paced life, please consider the sister island of Gozo. It is a heaven of green hills, incredible coastlines and villages. If you like more active lifestyle, I would recommend Malta's culturally rich capital, Valletta. So now when you already fall in love with Malta, let's talk about how to get there. So Malta Permanent Residence Program is a straightforward residency by investment program based on investments in property and government contributions. So you need to make both. With a promise of 4 to 6 months processing time from the submission of a complete and correct application, the program offers much value to clients wishing to make Malta home away from home. This program in its current form started back in 2021. The legal basis can be found in Malta Permanent Residence Program regulations. It is easy to find this document on Residence Malta Agency website. If you have any doubts about what are the current requirements, who are eligible for this program, what nationalities are restricted, Residence Malta Agency is the official body that processes and is responsible for all the applications. So always refer to them and the legislation to check the latest numbers. So now I'm going to talk about who is actually eligible to apply for Maltese Permanent Residence Program. Obviously, you need to be third country nationals, so non-economic European area or non-Swiss, obviously. You should not hail from sanctioned countries, which are announced from time to time by the agency. I know there's quite a few of Russian contacts on this webinar from my network. Unfortunately, Russia is also not eligible for the program. So if you want more information about which nationalities can apply, please reach out to us directly. We'll be happy to help and find alternatives if you can't do this. Also, you should not be beneficiaries under any other regulations or schemes. So if you're currently on another visa in Malta, also please reach out to see if you can actually switch to Malta Permanent Residence Program. Also, you need to be in receipt of stable and regular financial resources, which is sufficient to maintain yourself and your dependents without resource to Malta's social assistance system. So you can't rely on any country benefits. Very important thing, you need to show that you have capital assets of not less than 500,000 euros, out of which 150,000 must be in financial assets. What does it mean? It means that 150,000 of the main applicants should be in liquid assets like stocks, bonds, publicly listed traded shares, funds, and bank deposit. This will be monitored throughout 5-year period. So you need to have this amount throughout the first 5 years that you hold the residence card, because this will be constantly checked. And after 5 years, when you need to renew your residency, it also will be applicable. So you need to show that you still maintain the 500,000, out of which 150 must be in financial assets. Of course, you need to be a fit and proper individual with a clean criminal record. It's applicable basically for all residency programs, but Malta has one of the strictest due diligences. So please ensure that you tell us all the information up front about your history, about your past, so we can assess all the risks beforehand. And obviously, you should not pose any potential threat to the national security, public policy, public health, or public interest. So this is the key requirements for the main applicants for Malta Permanent Residence Program. Now let's talk a little bit about the benefits of moving to Malta or just getting their permanent residence there. It is a stable and safe place to live, as discussed before. And also it gives a great freedom of travel. You can spend 90 of 180 days in any other Schengen country. And obviously it's unlimited stay in Malta. So you get an ability to reside, retire, work remotely in one of the most beautiful and desired locations in Europe. As discussed before, it is efficient and short processing time. But again, we're looking from the time of submission. So it's important that beforehand you prepare all the documents. So in total, obviously, the process can take slightly longer. It is a lifetime residency, which means that you can renew your residency every 5 years. Just to make sure that you can renew after the first card, please keep your investment for the past 5 years and also ensure that you have 500,000 net worth for the first renewal. Afterwards, you can renew without proving anything, pretty much. Another important feature is that property ownership is not obligatory, so there is a rent option instead. I think it's interesting for some clients that just don't want to worry about having an asset somewhere abroad for many reasons like tax, and also taking care about this property. So if you don't want to own an asset in Malta, you can just rent. We're going to talk about all the investment components shortly. Of course, favorable tax system for non-tax residents, global income will not be taxable. You will only be liable to pay taxes connected to your real estate and other assets in Malta. For example, if you decide to purchase property and you rent it out, obviously you need to pay tax on the rental income. I always recommend my clients to speak to a tax advisor first before pursuing any opportunity, because it's very important to understand what are the tax obligations. Just getting a residence permit obviously doesn't bring it, but if you actually decide to relocate to another country, you should assess all the risks first. And obviously another important benefit is path to the EU citizenship, but I want to be careful on this one and give a little warning. So obviously beneficiary can submit an application for acquisition of Maltese citizenship by naturalization after continuously residing in Malta for a period of 5 years. You should reside in Malta throughout the 12 months immediately before the date of application and 4 years out of preceding 6-year period. You should be knowledgeable in English or Maltese, of sound mind and good conduct. However, the minister has the discretion, according to the law, to grant or refuse the application. It does not therefore mean that if you apply and satisfy all the conditions, you automatically will be granted citizenship by naturalization. Minister's decision is based on internal policies, whereby amongst other requirements is the number of years that you spend and meet other conditions. So it's not guaranteed, that after 5 years you will necessarily get your citizenship. So that's why there is a separate program if you're looking for Maltese citizenship. There is a separate program that we're going to discuss in another webinar. But this option is great for those who just want to have easy access to Schengen area, spend time in Malta, or maybe relocate there with their family for safety or health reasons. So I would strongly recommend to consider this option, and also it's one of the cheapest one. So let's talk about how the process works. The initial consultation takes part first. So we need to decide that Malta is the right option for you. And then we can start the onboarding procedure, sign the agreements, and introduce you to the legal team. And then the most exciting part starts. You need to collect all your documents. We will prepare, obviously, a detailed checklist of the required documentation based on your circumstances and family composition. Our team will compile investors' welfare history, which is very important, translate necessary documents into English, certify them, and also complete the necessary application forms. So here I say that it takes about 1 month to prepare all the documents. However, please know that it sometimes can take longer depending on where you live, if you resided in other countries in the past 10 years. So on average, I would say it's probably 1 month, but sometimes it just takes longer because of the circumstances and it's complicated to procure certain documents. Once the application is ready, we submit it to the Malta agency, an official body that is responsible for all the applications in Malta. At this stage, part of the administration fee should be paid. We will talk about all the costs just in the next slide. But at this stage, basically, you're paying 10,000 euros, which is part of the administration fee. After this, Malta agency will conduct due diligence. Malta has one of the strictest due diligence in the world. So they will be very careful with checking everything, especially your history, your criminal records, how you obtained your wealth. So on average, it takes 4 to 6 months. But again, remember, it's up to the government's discretion to request additional information or documentation. So sometimes, unfortunately, it can take longer. Obviously, we do everything on our side to ensure that the application is complete and no further questions should arise. But again, this is not up to us. This is up to the government to process the application. So it can sometimes take a bit longer. After Malta completed their due diligence, we get a notice of approval, in other words, approval in principle. And this is a time when you need to fulfill investment conditions. I think it's very important to highlight that in Malta, you firstly get your approval in principle, and then you need to make an investment. So basically, it's less risky. In some other programs, you have to make an investment first. Here, we get approval in principle, and only then you start spending money in Malta. You need to complete all the investments within 8 months period. It doesn't mean that it will take the whole 8 months. Usually with property purchase, it's about 2-3 months. If it's a rental agreement, that's usually easier. Also, during this period, you need to purchase health insurance that covers you and all the dependents that you include in your application in Malta. And then we need to submit the confirmation that everything has been completed to the Malta agency. Also, you will need to visit Malta for just 1 day, and this is very important. This is the only visit actually required. You need to come to Malta to give biometrics. This can be done at any point after approval in principle is received, but don't rush to Malta straight away. Wait us to secure your appointment first, and then you can visit this beautiful country. It can be done even before you completed all the investments. So as soon as we have approval in principle, we can book the appointment for you and you travel to Malta at any time convenient. After all of this is completed, final approval is received, cards are issued for 5 years, and you can enjoy your stay in Malta. And also you can travel with this card, as I said, to the Schengen area countries. Now let's talk about actual investment that you need to make. So first of all, it's very important to decide whether you want to go with a property purchase or you want to go with rental of the property. So the price will depend on the area of Malta where you decide to invest. So for example, if you're happy to invest in south of Malta or Goza, the price will be lower. The purchase price starts from 300,000 euros and the minimum rent is 10,000 per annum. And the rental agreement should be for 5 years. You're only required to do it for the first 5 years that you're resident. So after you renew your first residence card, you don't need to continue with the lease or rental agreement. The same with the purchase property, you only need to keep it for 5 years, but please make sure that you still keep it at the first renewal. Obviously, if you invest in other parts of Malta, north of Malta and Valletta, the rental price and the purchase price will be higher. The next part of the investment is a contribution to the government of Malta. It also depends on whether you chose to rent a property or purchase a property. Direct contribution will be 58,000 euros in Choose Your Rent, so it will be higher. In case you decide to purchase property, the direct contribution will be 28,000, so it's lower in case of purchase. Non-refundable administration fee is also required. It is 40,000 euros, basically for a main applicant, and also children, minor children and spouse doesn't require any extra payments. However, if you include parents or grandparents, then the non-refundable administration fee will be higher. It will be 7,500 euros for any parent or grandparent included. With this non-refundable administration fee, you pay 10,000, as I mentioned before, upon submission, and then the balance of it will be paid after approval of principal, along with property investment and direct contribution to the government of Malta. Also, you need to purchase health insurance for Malta. you can do it after approval in principle as well. And it also needs to cover all your family members. Usually it will be around 300 to 500 euros, so it's not a very big part of it, but just ensures that it covers all the members included in the family. And the last but not least, you need to make a donation to a voluntary organization. It can be a local registered philanthropic, cultural, sport, animal welfare, or artistic non-governmental organization, as long as it's registered with Commissioner for Voluntary Organizations in Malta, or otherwise approved by the agency. So you can choose any cause that is close to your heart and donate 2,000 euros there. So finally, we can look at the required investments for a family. So the first case I presented is single applicant. Here, let's say the applicant decided to go for the purchase of properties, and the contribution to the economy will be 28,000, and then donation of 2,000 euros is required. Non-refundable administration fee will be 40,000, and also the cost of resident card is 138 euros, which is quite cheap. So in total, for a single applicant for property purchase, we are looking at 370,000 euros. This table doesn't include the legal fees, so because this can change depending on the circumstances, complexity of the case, and also it doesn't include global health insurance because also it will be different on the provider who you're going with. And on another table, we can see an option for rent for a family of 4. I choose the 10,000 euros option where you rent in south of Malta or Gozo. Then the contribution to Maltese economy will be higher, 58,000 instead of 28. Again, donation to a non-governmental organization stays the same. Non-refundable administration fee will be still 40,000 unless you include parents or grandparents in this application. Resident cards fee will be over 500 euros for the whole family, and in total we are looking at 110,000. Also, that I haven't mentioned before, just came to my mind, Malta actually program allows you to include up to 4 generations of dependents, so you can include parents, grandparents, or both main applicant and spouse, and also you can include children as long as you can prove that the dependents are actually financially dependent on you. So you can see that the rental option is obviously cheaper, but then probably some people will prefer purchasing a property because it can be a good investment for future. So you can see there's 2 different routes. Obviously, we're happy to help with both. And this is pretty much it. This is the end of my presentation. So we are now at Q&A section. I've already got some questions during the registration part. So one of the questions was whether nationals of Afghanistan are eligible for the program. Unfortunately not. They are on the list of sanctioned countries for Malta agency right now, so they cannot apply, but there is plenty of other options. Also, another question that I got at the registration was whether the application can be sponsored. Yes, the application can be sponsored. However, you need to ensure that the whole amount required, which is 500,000, that you need to prove to the Malta agency for your application, will be in the name of the main applicant. So the sponsor need to transfer the funds first to the main applicant, and then we can apply. But it's totally possible to sponsor the application. Another question that I just got, any other nationalities that aren't allowed to apply? So as I said, the best way to check who is eligible and who is not is to go to the Malta agency website. They constantly update the nationalities that are not eligible. But on the top of my head, from the reading it yesterday, I think it's Afghanistan, North Korea, Iran, Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, I think, Sudan, South Sudan, Syria, Yemen, and Venezuela that are not eligible. And unfortunately, Russian nationals and nationals of Belarus are not eligible as well. Also, I was asked to go over the financial assets requirements. Of course, so as I said, you need to generally have a net worth of 500,000 euros to apply for this application, and 150 of these assets should be in financial instruments. So basically, it can be stocks, bonds, it can be a deposit in your account, but it needs to be something liquid. So, for example, if you have a property worth 500,000, this is great, but this is not enough. You need to show that you have 150,000 in liquid assets. Just got another question. Yes, so basically the question is about where the applicant can rent a property and not stay in Malta and live somewhere else. This is correct. So as I said, the only visit that is actually required is this one day when you do your biometrics. So for the rest of the 5-year period that your card is valid, there is no minimum presence requirement. So you can rent a property in Malta and then you can live anywhere else in the world. For example, I'm in London. If I rent property there, I go for biometrics visit and that's it. I can have this rented property there and I don't have to be physically present. Can the kids access lower uni fees across Europe with this residence card? I don't believe so. I think maybe in Malta, yes, but with regards to other countries, I can't be sure. If you have any specific questions like this, I have a great network of education advisors. So if you reach out to me after this webinar, I will be more than happy to double check if there are any benefits in Europe. In Malta, yes, but in any other European countries, if kids get any access to lower uni fees, I'll need to check. If there are any other questions, please write them to our Q&A section. I'll give it another minute if someone has any additional questions they want to ask. Okay, so from the fees, is there any refund in the future? No. So basically all the fees that has been shown on the previous screen, let me try to get back there. Yeah, so any fees that you can see on the slide are non-refundable. So obviously if you purchase a property after 5 years, you can resell it. Then basically you can return part of your investment, but contribution to Maltese economy, donation to non-governmental organization, administration fee, these are all non-refundable. Yes, just got another question. The recording will be available. I will share it as soon as it's ready with all the attendees, so you can share it with your contacts and also with all of my colleagues. So there will be a recording of this presentation. And as always, if you have any questions for Malta Residency, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help. Oh, another question. I'm popular today. After 5 years, are the fees chargeable again to renew? No. So all of the fees that you can see on the screen will never be charged again. It's just one-time investment that you need to pay. The only fee that you will need to pay upon renewal is residence card renewal, but this is lower than the initial residence card. So the initial residence card is 138 euros. Upon renewal, I believe right now it's 57.5 euros. So it's quite cheap. This is the only fee you need to pay at the renewal. And also you will need to visit Malta for the renewal of your cards. And another question. Yes, 150,000 euros in liquid assets should remain throughout the 5-year period. Malta agency can do their checks at any time during the first 5-year period. So you need to ensure that the client applying for Malta Residence program has this 150,000 in liquid assets up to the point of when they renew their residence cards. In terms of what they need to show for the application, again, they need to have 500K in assets, out of which 150 is in liquid assets. no extra fees needs to be shown. So if you have a client worth 500,000 euros with 150,000 of which in liquid assets, this is enough. You don't need to show anything on top of that. So Malta's government assumes that if you have that, you can basically make the required investment. Another question, if you choose a rental route, do I need to renew the rental agreement after 5 years? No. So basically, once we get approval in principle, we sign the rental agreement for 5-year period. And you need to show at the time of renewal that you actually kept this 5-year agreement in place. But after your card is renewed, you don't need to engage in another 5-year lease or rent agreement. And the same with the purchase property. You can resell it after your first residence card has been renewed. Is there any healthcare benefits? Yes, obviously. So as soon as you become, the resident of Malta, you get a residency card. You can use the healthcare benefits in the country. So you can use a free healthcare system. And as I said, it's one of the most accessible and best rated in the world. So anyone who is included in the application will be entitled to that. Okay, just gonna give it another couple of minutes. And thank you everyone, by the way, for all the questions. It's really good to see that you actually actively engaged in this webinar. Hopefully it was helpful and you understand a little bit more about Malta. Unfortunately, I can't cover anything more about tax benefits on the program because I'm not the tax advisor. So if you have any further questions on that, please reach out. We will connect you with the specialists in Malta who can advise you on tax. But other than that, there are all the benefits of Malta residency discussed today. And hopefully you will visit this country one day and you will highly recommend it to your clients. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I think we can wrap up as I don't see any new questions. Again, please reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. You can email me, inquire with Holborn Pass. We will be all very happy to help you with any further inquiries. And thank you so much for being here today. Have a lovely day ahead.